Hello and welcome to Incredible Inverts and Other Animals with me, Phil. And if it's your first time watching one of my videos, if you haven't yet, please do subscribe and hit that bell for notifications. So, now just a little update before we get into the main bulk of this video. I had a bit of a weird week this week. I actually had ITV Angler News come out to work to interview me about spiders. And in particular about music that has been created with spider webs. So a scientist in America has basically translated a spider web into kind of music. And so it is quite interesting to look at. I believe that the interview has gone out on ITV Angler News now. I haven't seen it yet myself. The one I've seen is with one of the keepers, one of my colleagues down at Paradise Wildlife Park, which are absolutely fantastic. And so obviously these sort of news article things go around all over the country and get local sort of people, local zookeepers that work with invertebrates to talk about that. But ITV Angler did come out to me on Tuesday just gone to interview me about spiders and about my thoughts on translating the music or translating the spider web into sounds, into kind of music. Is very, very odd music. It almost kind of reminds me a bit of dial-up internet, a little bit, those sort of noises. But certainly this kind of research is quite interesting. And so, where perhaps it makes us, can help us understand a bit more of the spider's world. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, go and read the article. It was on the New Scientist is the one that ITV sent me to read. And you can just type in spiderweb music into YouTube and you'll actually find a clip of the music that has been created with this. But, look out for on ITV News as well, on their websites, and you'll see the news stories as well, and possibly some keepers in your region. But in today's video, we're going to be looking at one of my species of praying mantis, and in particular the banded flower mantis. So this is one that I got in a spider shop order a while ago now. It's now matured into an adult male. So it's a perfect opportunity to rehouse it. So we'll also get some footage of it as well. I'll tell you a bit more about the species. So let's go ahead and take a look. Right, okay, so here's the enclosure for my banded flower mantis. So just in there, so he recently molted, has matured out as a mature male, so he's very, very small. Mantis, I do see a lot of mantis that are a lot bigger than this particular species, but I'll see if I can get him out and have a bit of a closer look. And then I'm going to be rehousing him into a much bigger enclosure just to enjoy him a bit more. So I'm going to be rehousing him into this one here, which is a tarantula room enclosure. So I've done it up ready just so I can enjoy him a bit more. I don't have a female, so I won't be breeding this one at all. So just get out and to soften a bit nicer than what this little tub is. So he's done absolutely fine in this little tub, and would do fine in here anyway. It is big enough for him because, as you can see, he is absolutely tiny. But just so I can enjoy him a bit more, so I'm going to get him into a much nicer looking enclosure. But if the camera focuses on him, so you can actually, there we go. Before then, I'm going to see if I can get some nice footage of him, kind of out and about on some plants and stuff, and I hope to tell you a bit more about the species as well. So yeah, as you can see, absolutely beautiful little mantis. So the banded flower mantis, or Theopropus elegans, is a fairly common species found kind of across Southeast Asia. So they like it fairly tropical. Now, as I said, this is an adult male. Females do get quite a bit bigger. The females can reach lengths of around sort of 5 centimetres or so, whereas this little guy is around about 3 centimetres, which is about average for this species. Now, as with all praying mantis, they are carnivorous, so they do eat other insects, primarily flying insects for a lot of mantids. So for this guy, he's been raised primarily on fruit flies and is still eating fruit flies at this stage as well. He will eat slightly bigger flies, but not too much bigger. And for a lot of mantids, we generally tend to say try and avoid things like crickets if you can, and stick to flying prey as much as possible. Depending on species, there are some species that need sort of non-flying prey, especially ones that live primarily on the ground. So, but for the most commonly kept species of praying mantis, go for flying prey wherever you can. So raise them on things like fruit flies. Then once they get bigger, we'll go on to things like blue bottles, green bottles, house flies, curly wings, all these sorts of things as well. But sometimes with some species can give them occasional small cockroaches or even locusts as well. But again, often tend to say avoid crickets if you can for a lot of mantis species. Now, for this guy, as you can see on the plant here, they are incredibly well camouflaged. And the flower mantis tend to be very brightly coloured with their camouflage, so bright greens on them with yellow markings or white markings. And this all helps them basically blend in, even sometimes look a bit like a flower as well. And other species of praying mantis are what we'll call sort of cryptic, so things like your dead leaf mantis, which is quite a cryptic species. Well, there's a few species called the dead leaf, where they're obviously mimicking dead leaves. So these guys, the flower mantis, are again mimicking some more living foliage. Now here you can see me trying to tongue feed it a fruit fly, but he's far more interested in giving himself a good clean. I spent a while trying to get a fruit fly with the tweezers gently, but he's not interested whatsoever. And he wasn't interested at all during the whole of this in feeding whatsoever. He was far more interested in giving himself a really good clean and just enjoying some time out and about on this plant. So praying mantids, they don't have a long lifespan for a lot of species. So most of the commonly kept species, you are looking at sort of a year as a lifespan, so not very long at all. And in that space time, they hatch out their ootheca, the egg case, and then they reach maturity. I'd say females do tend to get bigger than males. And this is fairly common across the board for most species of praying mantis. And the flower mantis are no exception. So the females do get quite a bit bigger. Their markings are that bit nicer. But even on the males, as you can see here, they are absolutely stunningly beautiful. So I really do enjoy keeping praying mantids, especially the flower ones. And here you can see him having a real good old clean up. I was really pleased to get this type of footage of him. He behaved very well for me sitting on this leaf, and man, I just couldn't take my eyes off him just watching him clean himself like this. Before sort of doing this, I'd never imagined really getting this type of footage of a mantis. And so it was a real pleasure to actually see this, and kind of an honour to see this from one of my animals. It was really nice just to sit back and watch this as this was just filming away. And again, in sort of a bit of zoom, so I can even see it even better than my own eyes. And having really seen him really clean his antennae there, as you can see him doing now. And having cleaning his eyes really well too. So I had him out for probably a few hours really doing this. So this is just some of the sort of the best footage that I managed to get. And he pretty much didn't really move much at all. He kind of enjoyed where he was. And so some people do keep praying mantids not in an enclosure at all, really, just on plants, on their windowsills and stuff. I don't, purely because there are wild spiders in my flat that would potentially take him on. So I wouldn't want to lose him to a wild spider. But some people do keep various mantids, say, on like their chili plants and stuff, on their windowsill, and they'll take any flies that come towards the plants. So it can be quite an effective form of pest control if that's something that interests you. Again, I don't do that. I keep all mine in enclosures. Currently only have 2 species of praying mantis, this one and then the urbanus, the Malaysian flower mantis that I got recently in a creature crate and stuff. So it's another great addition to them. And there's such good variety within mantis, not just the flower mantis, but you got things like the orchid, one of the most stunningly beautiful mantids out there. And then, like I say, your dead leaves, your ghosts, your Diabolica as well. They're absolutely amazing looking species. So I think I'll just let you just watch this Mantis do his thing whilst some music plays, and I'll be back with you for the rehousing. Right, okay, well, I'm going to get it into his enclosure now, or his new enclosure, where I can just enjoy his beauty much more. I've let him be out for, well, he's actually sat on this plant now for a couple of hours. He's just been sitting there cleaning himself, so he's given himself a nice good clean. So he hasn't really been interested in food or whatsoever. And so I did offer a couple of fruit flies just with tweezers just to see if he was hungry. But I was more interested in giving himself a really good clean. I will pop some food into his enclosure with him. So I'm going to gently try and coax him onto a finger. Just nice and gently. That's it, buddy. I can see they're really gentle things. Probably wants to go straight back onto the plant. Oop. And he did actually want to go straight back onto the plant. He just flew off my finger onto the plant. And maybe he's not quite ready to go into a new enclosure just yet. Perhaps he wants to stay out a little bit longer for a little wander around and explore, maybe. I would love to be able to just leave him out and about, but it's not really ideal to do that, not for too long. So, because they could actually become fairly dry depending on species. And so, also, I mean, up here in my flat, I've got lots and lots of wild spiders all over the place. Lots of false widows around, so I wouldn't want them to take him down. So that's why I like to keep everything in enclosures, just so I can monitor them much more closely. So let's have another go and see if I can get him without losing him anywhere. Onto the finger. Come on, dude. That's it. Onto that hand. So here he is. So we're going to move the plant just out the way. Bring the enclosure in. So the camera down. So yeah. So this is the enclosure where I'm sticking him in, and he's just gone straight back onto the plant again. So yeah, what is that? Just on the plant. Transfer enclosure. Got some sort of one covered in sphagnum moss, some cool bark, some twigs, a bit of fake plant. Fairly simple. Let's have nothing too complex, but will hopefully, you know, complement the little cheeky chappy nicely. Let's have third time's the charm of let's get him into the enclosure without him going off anywhere. Alright, so he's in. And we'll get some footage of him within the enclosure as well. So it's much bigger than what he did have with the tub. As I say, he could quite happily in that tub for the rest of his life. It was, so you know, just about big enough for him, but this will be much nicer for this little dude, just to live out the rest of his life. Mantids, they're not particularly long-lived animals. A lot of species will only live a year. So I don't have any females or anything to try and mate with him. He's my only mantis at the moment. And if I've kept mantids and bred mantids in the past, just haven't had in for a while. So this is one that came to me in a spider shop order that I've done. I thought, oh, go on, let's have another mantis. And I do enjoy keeping them. I do enjoy interacting with them. So they're absolutely beautiful and stunning little animals. Hopefully you agree with me. But yeah, I'll end off with just some footage of this all guy within the enclosure. I hope you enjoyed that look at the banded flower mantis, and hopefully you'll agree with me, as with all the species that I show you, all the animals, everything, they are absolutely fantastic and beautiful animals. They're great to keep. I love keeping praying mantis, especially the flower mantids as well. They're just absolutely stunning. When they mature to their adult colours, their adult patterns, just can't get enough of that. So I'm looking forward to the Malaysian flower mantis I've got in the creature crate. To that maturing as well. They too are absolutely stunning. So one note is that next week I may be doing an unboxing potentially. It's my birthday coming up, so I'm thinking of ordering myself some bits. Don't know what yet. I'm having a look on a few sites just to see what I kind of want to get. May go for a mystery box maybe as a bit of a surprise for myself for my birthday coming up. But we'll see. So there you go, a little sneak peek to what may be coming next week. If not, there'll be something else next week. But yeah, if you haven't yet, please do subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell. If you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up. Also, do leave some comments down below. I upload every Sunday. So until next Sunday, take care, stay safe, keep rocking.